What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Her Lounge podcast. We have my co-host Marissa in the house. You know, just in here doing mom things and
chilling.
Before we get started, guys, just a few friendly reminders, I guess, announcements.
Tell them about that violent CBD,
girl. Don't forget, guys, we just dropped the Echale Ganas collection. Again, it is a unisex collection. So, guys, the shirt and the hat. I said that I thought I had gotten just the women cut, but it's not. It's a unisex collection. So, maybe my brain I was thinking but it didn't happen. So, shirt is unisex and the hat is also unisex. And Father's Day is around the corner, guys. So it's a great gift.
When is Father's Day?
June 20th.
Okay.
And I only know that off the top of my head because, well, not only that, but because my grandmother's birthday is that day, and so they decided not to have her birthday party on that Sunday so that people could celebrate with their dads or so. And then the pop-up that we were supposed to do was postponed to May 30th. So don't forget, please come out there to the Soho Market on May 30th from 12 to 5. It's at 9191 Winkler. And then we'll be in Corpus tomorrow. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Yeah, we can head out of town. I'm kind of excited about that.
Good. Is it Friday and Saturday or just?
It's just Friday and Saturday, yeah. I'm kind of glad.
Yeah. Well, that means tonight. So this drops tomorrow. So
this
tonight.
Drops tonight, yes. So tonight we'll be there. So if you listen to the podcast, please come up to me. I'd love to meet you. And then the famous Shell Shock CBD. So, don't forget.
You got the rub on the booty batch. You got the violence batch.
You know what I'm saying?
Which one do you want?
The choice is yours. Mix them, right? And then just
you know what I'm saying?
Use promo code Mariswole, and so you can get you a discount and get you some good stuff. And then you'll be set. You'll get your booty rubbed on, and then
a little violence,
and
then
a little slap while you're
I mean, it is what it is.
Where is your book with quotes that your husband
right
got
behind you?
Because you are supposed to be reading from.
Actually, I did a. What do you call it?
Did you do a skim through the book?
No, I did a album. On my
on your phone?
On my phone.
Oh, okay.
Because I realized that I always come across quotes. I'm like, ooh, that would be a good one for the podcast. So I was like, okay, how can I save these? I figured it out. So anyway,
amazing.
Marissa and I, before the podcast, we had a little meeting for our June 16th event, guys, which will be our first live podcast event.
That's right.
You guys will be the first to know. And actually, I am going to give you the reservation link first. So only our podcast listeners will get the reservation link first before I announce it. So you guys will get it next week, Monday. When we we'll record on Tuesday, so technically Wednesday. I'm sorry, you guys will have it.
Yeah, because Wednesday we should go do the walkthrough.
Yes,
and then we can figure out the numbers.
Yes,
yeah.
So I'll let you guys know what that link will be, and we'll get that started for you. So Rob, I would just need a tab on my marisoleherrera.com so they can take it straight to them.
Sure.
And that way you guys can join us, and then a week after that, June 26th, I'll be having an Hot Girl Summer Boot Camp. So it's for all my ladies who want to get in shape. You do not have to be pregnant. You can be just a normal person who wants to just kind of kick off their, summer body. This is a great way. And at first my trainer said, what if we only had pregnant girls? And I said, nah, I don't want to just make it for pregnant girls. I want to invite everybody.
That would be funny though.
Well, because I think more pregnant girls are afraid to work out than they are to not work, than the regular. So I said, even if they see me, he's like, but they see you. I'm like, I know. Have you ever seen some of the comments people leave on my videos? I have to delete them sometimes because, they just make...
Honey, I didn't mean to interrupt, but maybe I did. I was reading Chingo's comments of the churro, the box.
Yeah, I know.
Sold out, by the way.
Yes, sold out.
Yes, sold out. Shout out to
so thank you for keep talking shit about it.
But what the fuck? I didn't know people were still upset.
People are mad still.
About...
And you know what's funny? Today, speaking of that, you want to hear what's crazy?
Whoa, they gotta stop.
What's crazy is I heard a Real Talk Kim.
But you know what's worse? That he replies...
I think he's bored.
That's when he's watching Penny.
I cannot.
I think he's bored. I really do. Like, I think he's bored when he replies.
What are you doing?
Because when he's occupied, he'll come, like when we're busy, he'll come back and be like, holy shit, there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll say, he's like, damn. And that's when I know that he's not busy.
Oh,
and
God.
so he'll, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, sometimes I just have to walk away because
It's too much. It was funny.
I have started to just delete stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy for it anymore. Like at first when it was beginning, like someone left one on my TikTok the other day, which all I ever do is post workout videos on there. I don't ever do anything else on TikTok. I don't even really even know how to use it, to be honest with you.
I'm still trying to learn.
So, you know, someone said on there something about she's not a women empowerment. She's a Trumper lover. And I'm just like,
Trump love bitches.
What?
You know how many bitches he fucked with? A shitload. He loves you hoes.
my God.
My
I was
goodness.
like, what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, I don't have time for this. But I started deleting them, just like the comments on one guy the day before I posted a video, be working out. He was really nice about it. So I left his on because his question was, I don't think it's safe for you to be lifting, right? Don't you, or something like that. And I said, no, actually it is safe. So I gave him all the reasons. He said, then he said, the doctor tells my wife not to lift anything heavy.
All doctors say that.
I said, okay.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah. I said, so one, is your wife a high risk pregnancy?
Yeah.
And two, did your wife lift before
Yeah.
she got pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
If she didn't, of course, she can't start today. Like,
yeah.
I've had a few people reach out and say, hey, I just found out I'm pregnant. I want to start working out. No, you should have thought about that before you got pregnant. That's not something you can just start.
But you can like go and walk.
You can walk. You can. That's why I said on one
Yeah,
post.
bike.
Resistance bands.
Yeah, that's why on one post I said you don't have to go hard.
Yeah,
it's as
but don't
simple
go
as
hard.
counting steps on your watch. Counting like there's what are those clock those pedometers?
Mm-hmm. Our phones already have them built in.
Exactly. So it's like you don't have to go hard. You can just
Yeah.
honestly, it's as simple as that. Go around the block. It's just a matter of keeping my point always is I just want you to keep your heart pumping.
Yeah.
That's it. Keep your heart pumping.
Marisol, you know, it's like hot girl summer. Marisol's going to have a hot girl fall. Like, she's going to be on it.
It's not going to be till afterwards.
Yep.
I have decided, I told Pete, I said, it's for sure. I'm going to go back into it. So I'm going to do it. So I said, after I have the baby, after I'm good to go and I'm ready, I'm going to start the personal training again.
Do the surgery after?
I have to wait a year.
You have to wait a year.
Oh,
okay.
good.
Okay.
I have to
All
wait.
right,
He'll check me at 6 months to see how my uterus is doing, see how
it's healed.
it's healed or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll never be 100% healed because how he explained it is basically, so imagine this, and the fibroids have dented it. So it already has bruises as it
For
is.
people that don't know,
Sounds
you mean
painful.
the hysterectomy, right?
The hysterectomy, yes.
Yeah.
So my uterus is already bruised. So it's not going to be perfect anyway. So, but it needs to look semi-normal before I can get the surgery.
Got
so,
it. Okay.
That description makes my privates hurt.
Yeah.
For real.
When he described it to me, I was like, damn, all that is happening in there? And a baby? I'm just like,
Oh my God.
Jesus, take the uterus.
for real.
Oof. Take it, please, with your crochet wieners for little babies. I listened to that podcast. I'm like, you know what? This is just disgusting. Anyway, I can't take it. Go ahead. Read your quote.
So my quote today, actually, it's funny because Marissa and I were talking about thoughts that happened where I never thought I had postpartum depression. Like I never had it. I don't know what that was like.
Me neither.
And I'm thankful. I don't know if it was because I ate my placenta, not like zombie like, but you know, I had it encapsulated. So
Good sound effects.
excuse me, right?
That was
That was
scary.
solid.
That scared me.
And you don't even have headphones on.
Whoa.
So I didn't eat my placenta that way, although it was an option for me to blend it. And I
Did
was
you
like,
put salsa on it?
I was like, no, it was in a pill. I was like, I am not blending.
Oh, that's right. You put 'em
My
in pills.
Yeah, I put them in pills. I was like, no, I'm not blending my placenta. She's like, I'll tell you the instruction. Nah, I don't even want to look
I'm
at
good,
it.
bitch. I'm good.
Please
I'm good.
blend it for like you do that for me because I do not want to do that. So I'm encapsulating my placenta again this time. It could be mental. I felt it helped me, but I know a girl who said that it did worse for her. It made her be depressed. Which I find odd. I don't know. Maybe it was just her.
I think she was. Yeah, I don't think.
Maybe it was
I think
just
you're already
postpartum.
in that mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not happy to be pregnant and you're already going through a lot emotionally, and maybe you are glad that you're having a baby. I think that sometimes, people do go through a lot of mental shit. And so when you have the baby, it doesn't just heal.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with all that. I mean, it might be something. And like I was saying, it's funny because Real Talk Kim kind of talked about that. I watched an episode from 6 months ago. So 6 months ago when probably the world was still not as open as it is now. Obviously, that was like the beginning of the year.
I was going to say something, but I'm not. Go ahead. Do your comment. Do your post.
So we were talking about coping, right? We were like, I was telling her, I was like, one of the things that I thought about, and I still will sometimes have this random thought as a parent, which I never thought, right?
I do it all the time.
I think about the day I die and how Penny's going to be here with no parent. And sometimes it'll either bring me anxiety or it'll bring me stress, mostly stress, not anxiety, mostly stress. Then it makes me sad. I may end up like shedding a tear or two because I think about her. And I think it's because I know what it's like to lose a parent. So I know that sad feeling. So it makes me think about it more.
Yeah.
But I thought this was kind of a good one. It says coping with thoughts. And here are some things that you can tell yourself. So I'm always important no matter what. I've dealt with hard situations and I know it will get better. So these are things you can tell yourself whenever you're having like one of those shitty days.
An ugly cry day.
Exactly. This hurts, so I need to be extra kind to myself. I mean, yeah. This is tough, but so am I.
Preach.
Not everything will go my way, but I will try to be flexible. Which that's probably the one I need to work out more.
We ain't got a choice.
I do blame myself a lot when things don't. It's like you could have done better. Does that make sense? Like I'm harder on myself whenever something doesn't go as it should have. It's not that great right now, but it's the worst. It's not the worst thing ever, which I think sometimes I think that's where depression also works.
Yeah.
We don't see it as someone having a big deal, right? It being a big deal, whatever it is that they're dealing with, but to them, it's like huge, Everything will get better sooner or later. And if I stay strong, I know we'll get through it. So
words to live by.
Yeah.
Just some little coping
You just
thoughts.
can't lay down and die, y'all.
Yeah, you can't. And
you just can't. I mean, and look, we talked about this on the one with Dawn. It's like you're gonna have all of these emotions, but you can't. You always got to talk yourself back off that ledge.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna be okay. Feel what you gotta feel, but don't sit there too long, man. That's where you get in trouble.
Yeah,
that's where you get in trouble. You can't, because really, like, and we've talked about this before, not just on the podcast, but we've talked about it together. It's like it really is a mind thing.
It really is.
It really is a mind thing. Like you have more control about how you feel than you think.
I want to recommend. So Rogan had Andy Norman on. It's like yesterday's episode.
I watched it.
You listened to it already? We was talking about the
mental immunity.
Yeah, mental immunity and mind parasites.
Boo, he's so
nailed it.
Right,
nailed
man.
it.
He was so right. And look at how he talks about how he's a liberal in certain things, but he never cheats himself out of having a teachable spirit.
Yeah.
Like once someone has information that counters what he's been thinking, you just adjust. You can't be married to an idea or an ideology.
Yeah.
You just, and I think that that's what people are missing is like that ability to say, okay, so I was wrong this whole time, but it's okay. And we just change the way we feel about that thing and we just kind of move on.
I know it sounds narcissistic, but a lot of people don't do that. And I feel like I do that way more than almost anybody I've met. Like a ton of people. We're talking about 90% of the people I've come across and ever met. They are on it and they're not letting go of these ideas and you can't tell them nothing else.
You can't tell them no, boo. Even when you give them the truth, they don't. You can't convince them otherwise.
One thing Real Talk Kim said on that episode I watched is she said, that we've allowed for, and she's not political. She's straight Bible, and she's straight Bible and motivational words. Like so she's nothing political, guys. So for if y'all are thinking that she's not, but one thing she did say was, we've allowed the media to feed us, right, and cause separation, right, to where now you may not be friends with someone based on whatever. And that was never the case. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what president wins. You still have to get up and do what you have to do every morning. So why fight and be mad with someone over something you don't agree, like you don't have the same views on? Like, you're not paying that person's bills, basically. They're not paying yours. It's okay to have different opinions. You have to live life. You have to move on. You have to keep going. You can't you just can't keep dwelling on it. And like she said, she says she feels like sometimes the people with and I hope this doesn't upset anybody. These are not my words. I'm just telling you guys whatever she said this morning. But she said that depression, even when people claim for it to be hereditary, right? She's saying it's really up to you if you want to change it, regardless of it being a clinical diagnosis or whatever. Excuse me, sorry about that.
Bless you.
Thank you. Regardless of it, at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to change it or not. Do you want to continue to be the generational depressed person?
What's that thing that you said about the generational curses or something, or it stops something?
It ran in my family until it ran into me.
I mean, and so when she said that, I was like, I've met so many people who legit suffer from depression and just have always said, well, my grandma had it, so-and-so had it. We all have had it. It's just kind of like a thing.
We learned coping mechanisms from the people who raise us.
So technically, is it hereditary, or did you learn these habits from the people who you
Well, those mind
raised
parasites, going back to that, start somewhere, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And I told myself I was going to re-listen to that episode because they're always dropping different books that they're listening to, and I need to get the 4 Agreements. That's another one that they've brought up a few times. But it was so good.
Oh, I need to listen to that one.
And
Gad Saad has a book called The Parasitic Mind.
Okay. Ooh.
He's been on Rogan a few times. Love him, evolutionary biologist, and that concept's always fascinating.
I know who you're talking about now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gad Saad, but he's the Middle Eastern-ish accent person. I forgot where he's from, but
I know who you're talking about now. Because I think when they were talking about the vaccines, they brought him up. So that's where I had heard the name from. Yes. Yeah. So I just think that sometimes we get trapped into these little things where you feel like there's no solutions.
We always want to, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about what they were talking about on Rogan is like, you have to be open-minded with absolutely everything.
I 100% agree. I never in a million years thought this is the way I'd be thinking versus the way I thought before. And that's what I always ask myself. I wonder, had there not been a pandemic, would have I taken the time to do all the reading and the digging that I've been doing, right? Because I saw so much inconsistency because I had nothing else to do but to pay attention to what was happening, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder if at some point, Pete and I have both asked each other that, and I said, I don't think I would have thought it at the very beginning. It might have taken me a little bit longer than it did, but at some point, just because I'm a busybody and I'm not nosy, but I'm curious. I'm a very curious person. At some point, it would have brought curiosity to me, and I would have been like, well, this is getting really odd here. So what truth is it? You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing that they touched on was that you can find an article to back up anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then it kind of gets to like, okay, well, where do you even go?
And even at the church event that we went to, and I know everybody thinks it's crazy, this was a church event that happened at a church event. Even they said, even though you Google something, you should technically be reading a book. Like
and that's what I always say.
Find a book to back up documents, back up and it's like, don't just read. He gave some good sources like atheist people, their argument about certain things, and I was to me, it's impressive when someone who is a pastor can also tell you why the atheists make great points about how there's no existence of this person, right? And so the fact that he can tell you, read these books, you need to read them because you need to see the other point of view that the Christian sometimes doesn't see. The Christian is, we're so quick to be like, how can you not? You know what I'm saying? But they have such great points to where it makes you kind of see. And the fact that night, the fact that he said that, I'm like, I don't know if I think anybody else might have just said, there's crazy people that write these books about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus he said, these are the books that I've read where, I've done my research for over 20 years, blah, blah, blah. And so it was like, he listed all these good books. And I just told Pete, I'm like,
how are you going to come up with your argument if you don't know what the other people are saying? And that's why I listen to people that I don't agree with, because I need to know, like, the way that I've always kind of felt is like, especially after getting out of college and realizing that I had been indoctrinated this whole time. And then now hearing that now my degree is being like one of those degrees that it's like you've been indoctrinated, but it's like, no, I realize that I have been. But one of the things that, it's hard to do is to, number one, it's like you're forced to read books, and so the internet isn't really anything that you really look to for information. But it's kind of hard for just a normal person who didn't have to be, wasn't constantly inundated with books that they had to just read and read and read. And it's so hard because when you're just a regular person who's kind of like you, was like, okay, something doesn't make sense. I need to do my research. But then it's like, okay, where is that information coming from? It makes it so hard to figure out if you're really headed down the right path. But it's important to try to find people who don't agree with you. That way you can say, okay, what are they saying? So then I can go and I can try to figure out how that's wrong or how it's right. And like he says, like when you are encountered with that information and you realize that you're wrong, all you have to do is just say, okay, I was wrong.
I used to listen to Ardent Atheist a lot when I was younger. I don't know if that podcast is still around, but it was a great podcast. Like if you ever wanted to hear theology from the complete other side, fascinating stuff.
So there's a YouTube guy that is going to be at a conference that someone else that was there speaking has a YouTube channel, and this is dope, man. I think I can't. There's a reason why I can't attend the thing, and I can't remember why I can't attend it. But he's gonna have a guy that is an atheist. He's a well-known atheist on YouTube. He's got a really big following. So the guy that we saw is his thing is called Capturing Christianity. That's the name of his YouTube channel, and his name is. Why doesn't it show his name? How do I find his name, Rob?
On his YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh, you would be next to his avatar usually if he had it.
Oh, well, it's just called Capturing Christianity.
Okay.
But so I don't know why I can't see it. I guess he doesn't list his name. I don't know.
You could scroll to about.
Okay. About.
Yeah, where it's home videos.
Okay. There we go. Cameron is his name. They're having a big conference, but he's having this big atheist come and have a debate with people who teach about Christianity and so forth, because he says that he's like, I watch him, and he's like, and it's almost like he's saying like, but he also kind of agrees with Christianity, but then he also shows you like how it's possible that it can't be Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like the fact that you can accept that there's people, you can accept that there's people out there who don't have the same views as you, but have some things that have facts and it can be like arguable.
Yep.
And you're okay with facing, you know what I'm saying? With they're buddies, they're YouTube buddies, you know what I'm saying? But there's still two people that can have a conversation. And that's how I think it should be. We used to be like that. We used to not be friends with people who saw the same views as you, but you were still friends with them. It was.
And before
not a
it was
problem.
politics that everybody was arguing about, I mean, really, it was religion.
It was, yeah.
Like, I mean, religion has been a way to indoctrinate people from its inception. And so even the fact that we practice Christianity here in the United States and in our culture and whatever it is, that really isn't like the religion that, you know, are like, let's take Mexicans, for example, like Mexican American, whatever the hell, like we have this whole indigenous side that you're taught that it's bad and it's evil and it's witchcraft, right?
Yeah.
But there's this whole other side of you that exists. And so I don't know. It's just like religion has always been kind of used to.
Well, to go off of what I wanted to take it back to Mariswole saying, like, if it hadn't been for the lockdowns and the pandemic and all this thinking and having the time to like notice the inconsistencies and then reading more, it goes to what they were talking about also on Rogan, where it's like a lot of people don't have the time because they're in the rat race to read, to slow down, to think.
Chasing the American dream.
Yeah,
baby.
chasing the American dream. And he's talking to somebody who studies philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I've always loved the great minds is they had the time during that time to sit, think, and ponder about these big ideas, right? So I would always try to spend most of my time framing my life so that I could spend more time having long form conversations and thinking about these things. Whereas those around me that were also hustlers, but more about I'm gonna get that dollar every day of every minute of every day. Where I was like, I'm gonna take some of that time out from chasing the green to, you know, expanding my mind. And a lot of people got to do it during the pandemic. And had it not been for that, it would have been something else.
Some people didn't use their time wisely.
Hell no.
though.
A lot of people did not. A lot of people did not.
Yeah, because
They weren't doing no damn research.
they
They're
weren't
just on the
doing
internet
nothing.
fucking
Watching
fighting
cat
with Chingo
videos.
Bling.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I
take
just,
the wheel, girl. I can't. It's too much.
And even sometimes when people want to argue about certain things, I just even when I see comments, I want to go back and forth with people. I'm like, for what? I'm not gonna get.
They're
I'm not gonna.
They're not
I'm
trying
not
to have
gonna
a
get nowhere.
conversation, boo.
Exactly. You're not trying to be open minded. You're not trying to hear facts. You're not trying to hear. And I'm okay with. And even when they'll write a big paragraph to whatever the last comment was. And I'll see like what they commented, and if I don't know enough about it, I'll go look up and see what I can find. I was like, yeah. So you interpreted that. That wasn't what was said.
Yeah.
But if that's what you interpreted, what can we do, right? I mean, it is what it is. I just think we just all need to agree to disagree, and let's
Pretty
just
much.
And let's just,
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. The only time I would disagree with that, to what Soul was saying earlier, is that like, let's say you disagree with somebody and now all of a sudden you can't be friends with them, right? I agree with that. And then again, it gets to the point where if their beliefs or their thoughts make them make choices that you're just like, whoa, you're doing what with your kids now? You're doing what because of what? Maybe we can agree to disagree. Maybe I don't need you as a friend because that's a little too much.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like the knitted penises.
Bro, when she told me that, I was like, and I saw a PragerU video later that night about it.
Woo! Guys, and
So if you're telling me you're a liberal and then that's what you also like, I'm like, I don't need you as a friend. Get out of my life.
But you know, and that's the crazy thing is like even that guy who was a guest, like maybe he does categorize himself as a liberal, but he doesn't necessarily agree with doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I get it.
I just.
Yeah, and that's just how I feel. That's why I don't like to have a label.
Yeah.
Man,
We're mostly
they're
social liberal.
crazy.
All of us. We're pretty socially liberal.
Yeah, I just don't.
Prostitution, I'm liberal on. Police, I'm conservative on.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right, Chris Rock.
I know that's what I was
referencing.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with prostitution either. Like, I just kind of feel like
I think it needs to be legal so that these
sure.
bitches can have
this bitch needs to-
protections, man.
And they need to pay some tax dollars on that
Hell
fucking non-tax money. Shit.
Yup.
I mean, less
But then
wives
they
would
don't
get
have to
backhanded.
be, you know, meeting up with crazy guys in like fucking back streets and shit that just want to know what it's like to fucking kill somebody, so they go get a prostitute because don't nobody give a fuck about them. Dude, I'm telling you, that soft white underbelly.
I haven't watched any in a while. You know what? I've been pretty
probably good.
straight.
Yeah, it's probably
I've been
for the
actually
best.
pretty good, Marissa.
I saw one the other day because one of my favorite crackheads on there, she cleaned herself up and
she
everybody
did?
was happy for her.
Ah, which one?
Her name was Amanda. But Amanda unfortunately died in her sleep after she had
God.
but this is what happened. She had met up with a psychologist who, dude, the guy from Soft White Underbelly and her dad, and this organization had worked so hard to get her the help that she needed, but from all the beatings and all the psychological trauma that she had taken, not only the physical but the psychological, her body just gave out, boo. It was a lot.
Sounds like there's some fentanyl involved in that, but
Nah, she was clean. They checked her system and everything. She didn't have anything in her system. She had actually been doing good for like maybe 6-7 months, almost a year. But it was just her body was just so tired already.
Or maybe her body was finally at peace and it was ready to go. Like I've come to terms.
Believe it or not, trauma it ages you. And that's what happened to her.
It's like being sleep deprived.
Yeah,
I think if you're on, I think the stat is if people are between like 8 and 16 hours sleep deprived per week, it takes off like 20 years of your lifespan.
It's crazy, man. What we do to ourselves. And look, this arguing on the internet and all that stuff, that can't be good for our mental.
Oh no, it's parasites left and right.
None of this that's going on is good for. Man. That's why sometimes I think we have to be kind of careful with.
Those glasses look good, by the way.
They are fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
They're so old.
Oh my God.
I thought they were part of your collection.
I know. That's what I thought.
No, these are actual real reading glasses.
I love them.
No. I know everybody kept asking me about them. It was on when I did a video on my story, but it's funny because I told Marissa I'd rather walk around everything looking foggy than to wear my glasses every morning. I know.
It is what it is.
And I don't like contacts either, so I've tried the contacts.
Those are so hard, man. I've been taking a break from those.
Yeah, I tried to do the contacts for a hot minute, and it was just like, this is a lot of work. It's like, I don't want to put this on my face. And then you're like this
I'm
sometimes.
constantly dropping them. I lose one. It's too much right now.
I'd be like this. I'd be like, okay, I think that bitch is still in there. Okay, yeah, we're good. I'll roll my eye and I'll feel it move. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's there. You know, it's like I didn't like them at all. Anyway, what were we saying?
That it's not good for our mental, man. All this shit, all this trauma that we're doing
I think a lot of it. That's why sometimes I can't consume too much of it. Or sometimes, even with people that you follow, sometimes I still question some of the things that they post. I'm like, well, I don't want to have an opinion on that shit. I need to see a little bit more than just what you posted. Like, let me see a little bit more of what. And I think we need to stop. I had this conversation with Marissa. I think we need to stop posting and start doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, start doing more. If you're that concerned and you care that much, like, start figuring out what you can do to help whatever it is that you feel strong about. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told Pete whenever.
And that's all you hear or all you see now is just people like, see what he's doing. See, this is what's happening. See, and it's like, okay, but what are you actually doing to fix it, bitch?
Yeah.
Like I just need to know, because now you're sounding like a fucking crybaby.
Yeah, I just that's why I told Pete, I said, what can we do to help? Remember, we called you, Rob, that day. I was like, let's just stop. Let's stop with the posting. As I know, I get it. It's content. You have to post something. I get it. I'm like, but let's also work at posting things on what we can do to help. And I think that's when he said he reached. You guys reached out to
we had an organization in the valley.
And so I just told myself, well, let's make sure it's legit before we actually post the organization too. Because at this point, there's so many organizations that aren't really doing what they say they're going to do. And isn't that scary?
Man. And they're not.
Isn't that scary?
And they're getting free money from not from the government, from us, and to do these things, and they're not even following through.
Exactly. And isn't that crazy? Because then it makes you wonder, like, well, damn, what are y'all doing to help?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, okay, I'm so over giving money to people. Like, that's why I've stopped. I no longer.
Yep.
I'm that person who's I'm not gonna lie. In the past, before the pandemic happened, I was quick to donate. Even during the pandemic, I was guilty of donating to BLM. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really did. Because
and it's so sad, because I think that the initial idea behind Black Lives Matter was something legit, and it just kind of snowballed into something that just.
Well, yeah, she bought mansions with it, and here's the thing. I think my friend
Tamika Mallory, that's a bad bitch, and she really is part of a movement trying to make a change for Black people in this country, because there still are a lot of disparities with Black women in the medical. Whatever, and there's so many issues, and so it's just fucked up, because then an organization like BLM, it goes from, there are certain people who really intended it to be something that it just, it's not that anymore.
Yeah,
it's
what
just,
did they use the money for? Nothing. You didn't help no black community. You didn't put it in any black community. You didn't help nothing.
Or families from some of those victims.
Families, exactly. You didn't even give any of those families any money. I think they gave them $500.
Yeah,
I think it was Breonna Taylor's mom,
that was one
right?
of them.
One of she said she got all that money, but she got all that money because of over
Her
the death of my
name.
daughter's name. Yeah. Yet we didn't see a cent from that. I think she gave him $500 or something like that.
Something low like that.
It was something crazy. Yet she made millions off of it. You know, after pushing it. I donated to, and here's the thing. My friend who posted it, it was like, these are the legit BLM folks. And so that I donated to one of those
That's what
organizations.
we need to kind of figure out. Who are the legit people who are still doing the work, the grassroots organizations?
Who I thought was the legit was part of this lady. And I just looked at Pete. I was like, we donated
You're
to
just
that.
going to have fucked up people in every organization.
I said, yeah, no, we donated to that. I'm sorry. I was like, it was the one that Jesus posted. Remember, we were like, oh, okay, well, he reposted that. We reposted those. We both did. Like, we're both guilty of reposting it. And I said, damn, we should have done better at researching those too. But we just thought it wasn't the original one that had been out. So we thought these were legit because everybody was saying these were legit. And I had been seeing those reposted more. Excuse me. And these were with people that I kind of know and trust. So I thought, okay, well, they're trying to raise money for them. So maybe it is real. And then I just, I didn't know. I should have done better.
There's always going to be shitty people within every organization who are trying to take advantage. We just have to do our research and figure out who's who, man.
And nowadays it's like, you don't know.
Yeah.
How do you, this might be a super touchy subject, but I want to throw it out there. How do y'all feel about these organizations that segment just to a particular group of people? It's like if I decided like I really want to help brown people, like I really want to help immigrant brown people, I really want to help Mexican American only brown people, and then going out there and only saying like help brown people, support brown people, give me money for brown people, where I'm like, but I also want to help white people, but I also want to help black people.
I think that it's important to have groups like that because I think that there's a lot of groups that have been marginalized. I think that having something of your own is important, but then I also think that it's important to have groups that are more unified, for the betterment of black, white, brown, red, whatever. But I do think that those organizations that are more geared to just one group, those are important too.
I agree if they can work together. If they're not working together, then it seems like it's counterintuitive. If the BLM can't work with a Brown Lives Matter and a white, if those groups that are helping the marginalized aren't helping all marginalized people, why are we still segmenting just the blacks over here? But don't worry about the white, brown, Asian, everybody, and then just the white. Why aren't those that are all the marginalized people, the poor white people, the poor brown people, whatever? Those groups should be working together.
Dude, Martin Luther King was trying to do that before he was assassinated. He was organizing the Poor Man's March. Civil rights was still, black issues were still very important to him, but he started to realize that there was more economic disparities for not only black people and brown people, but for poor whites as well. So when he organized the Poor Man's March, it was really to unify people who were being, unjustly, victimized through economics in this country, because it's always been that way. And when that happened, I mean,
we know how that ended.
You know how that ended. So, but do you see the potential of something like that becoming so powerful when you unify everybody who are...
And that's why it's unappealing to me personally when it's not seen that way. It's just seen as we're in our corner only and fuck everybody else. Yeah. And it's like, that's not...
And I've always... And that's why I'm like really funny about Latina, this, hashtag Latina, because... Again, like I said, I understand it. I appreciate it. Black owned, Latina owned, all that, whatever. I understand it. I think that that's awesome. That's important. Okay, that's cool. But for me, I want it to be inclusive. Whatever I'm a part of, I don't want to like leave anybody out.
On my thank you cards that I just got made for her apparel, I didn't want to put, like, I did put female owned. I put on the thank you for supporting a female owned business because I didn't want for it to be Latina owned business or, like, I didn't want that, but I did want you. I did want you to know that this is a female-owned business. I mean, and you're supporting a female-owned business, and I thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? So and it's created with, and I put on there, it's created. Each item is created with women empowerment in mind. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted you to know also what I stood for, and you know what I'm saying, what I'm about. I do think also that those type of groups are important, because I'll give you the example of whenever I worked at my office was out of the deaf center, we would only provide food for the deaf, because there's so many programs out there for the hearing, but not enough programs out there for the deaf community. So we wouldn't turn away hearing people who came in to ask for food, right? But we did limit the amount we gave them so that we could have enough for when the deaf, somebody in the deaf community would ask.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? We'd have enough to be able to give them, because it was based on how many family members were in the house and so forth. So we didn't turn them away, but we did give them a limited amount. And then we gave you resources of other organizations that did help, like the hearing community. And then you had those that were mad and say, oh, so you only help deaf people? Well, yeah, you're coming to a place that says Woodhaven Deaf Baptist Church. It only says Deaf Baptist Church on it.
What, you blind too?
I mean,
I didn't know what else to say. I just would say, I'm sorry, this is a deaf church. Woo. You came to a deaf church to ask for help, but I think they wouldn't read the deaf and then just read Baptist Church. So, we'd... the Deaf Baptist Woodhaven is part of First Baptist Church, so they're the sister church, and so we'd always say, there's this other one called Ma'am, and go to that one, and they could probably help you a lot more than we can, because our resources were already limited as it was, because they're not giving us those big dollars like at their church with the bigger hearing community, where they have the budget for that. Yeah, we were a portion of their budget, but not. Like the rest. So I still feel that those are, but I do think you should work together. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're absolutely correct. It's a very good point. And I think we like that. I think right now we like kindness in the world.
I don't think that Latinos have anything that belongs to us. Like, what is our organization? Like, what Mexican Americans, like, what is our organization? Who are our leaders? Like, who is that? Like, it's been a long time since Chavez has been around. You know what I'm saying? Like, who do we have?
Strong families, hopefully. Like, that's what you hope to have.
I think, what was LULAC's purpose?
It was kind of like the NAACP. I was part of LULAC for a little bit.
What did they do?
They just, like, advocate Latino businesses, and I don't know.
So they fight.
Good honest answer.
Hey, but you know what? I was like 18 or 19 when I was a part of that shit. It was a long time ago.
Okay, so, but they help what? I'm sorry. I don't know what they give
like scholarships.
I knew that one because when I was going to the whites to the all white high school that I went to, you know what I'm saying? I remember seeing the different types of scholarships that you can get. And obviously LULAC was one of them. And I was like, I don't associate myself like that. Like, I don't want to be, I only apply for Latino, kind of like, I just kind of felt like, well, I kind of was insulted a little bit.
But I don't even know like what my uncle was a part of LULAC, and I think that's even why I joined. But I don't know. Every time I saw them and there was like events and shit, it was always just to rub elbows.
Well, that's like the business. What is it? Business chambers of something. I went to
Chamber of Commerce. All Chamber of Commerce.
Something like that. So my aunt's ex-husband was a member, right? And he was like, you just started your business. This might be good for you. He's like, especially because you're trying to place people in jobs. Yeah. So a lot of people own businesses, and you can tell them about what you offer and what it benefits. Blah blah blah. And so I was like, oh yeah, it's a great idea. So I paid, it was like $300.
Yeah, you can't join a chamber without paying.
Yeah, it's like expensive. It was like $3-something a month, and just something like that. But these are so that you can attend.
I got the cheapest package.
Well,
this is
so that you can
chamber.
do the. You can go to the breakfast events that they would have or whatever. And so my
and
uncle,
it's just rubbing elbows, though.
bro, it was a
That's all
sausage
it
fest. It was
is.
a sausage fest. It was just a bunch of men like, and very few females in there. That was another thing. Yeah, you know.
Damn, I should have been there. What happened?
Like, it was a bunch of males just like giving each other like high fives and shit. And I was just like, one, it is way too early for me right now. Y'all's breakfast ain't that great anyway. Whoever catered this nasty ass shit. And then I was like,
They just slapping dongs or what?
I mean, it's just a
That's
bunch
what
of
it
bros.
sounds like.
You know what I'm saying? There was more bros than girls in there. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me. One, I'm not trying to hook up with anybody here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to hook up with you so I can get some perks.
You get a lot further if you did.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sure.
Pretty much.
But then my name would be Kamala Harris, and I heaven forbid that.
But we don't want to remind people about that.
Let me sip my water right quick.
Sip it, girl.
But that ain't none of my
Sip it,
business,
girl.
as she sips. Hispanic Heritage Foundation, and then the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce were the
That's the
first
one.
two that came
Okay.
out.
That's the one I went to.
Oh, makes sense.
And that's the one that I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me. My business partner was like, no, bitch, you need to keep going. I was like, no. It's like every time I go to introduce myself and I give somebody my business card, it's like,
What's up, girl?
what basically the
what are you doing
conversation would
later?
start into, and I'm not saying I'm all that, but it was like it started off as a business combo, then it led to.
Hey, that's how mine.
what do you
That's how
like
mine
tonight?
led. That's how mine went. It was good times.
I was like,
What up? No matter Rotary Club,
There's
Chamber
gotta
of
be
Commerce.
some-
Rotary Club.
I went to all of them.
there's got to be somebody here who's like legit about their business.
Girl,
And,
nobody.
and they all had wedding bands too.
Oh, I didn't at the time.
I was watching. Okay, because Schultz and Charlemagne do a podcast together. It's called The
Brilliant
Brilliant
Idiots.
They had what's his face?
Luis Gomez.
No, Lil Duval on there.
Oh.
Oh, he's so funny.
And it was crazy because, and I sent the clip to Rome because what they were talking about was like how you become more attractive to women based on how much you do for your wife. Like, if you're doing for your boo, other bitches are fucking noticing. They're noticing that she's got a good life. Motherfucking eyelashes is done. Extensions is in the motherfucking hair. Bitch got a business. And bitches are fucking looking at that shit.
Don't
and
look at
so
my
I
nails,
started
but,
to fucking, I was like, oh my God, is this real? Like wedding band don't fucking matter. A woman is looking at, if they can, like, let's say your life is on social media and they see how good you're living, all of a sudden that man becomes more attractive to a woman.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking crazy? So Schultz is like, the best thing you bitches can do is walk around this motherfucker looking homeless. I was like, that's why I look homeless. Bitch.
Hey,
so
but you
funny.
know what's funny? When I see something like that, I'm like, damn, that bitch is lucky. That's how I think. I don't
Yeah.
ever think like, Pete and I had that conversation. When was it? I was like,
So
it was when I was telling you about Dana Lynn Bailey. Like when
okay.
I look at her, I don't ever think like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, for me, it's more like, oh, you're not doing enough, girl. Like, look at
Yeah.
her. She's got it together. And they're such a good, you know what I'm saying? They're doing. And to me, it's a different type of motivation when I
Yeah.
see someone
I get
doing
motivated
good.
when I say, shit, you've motivated me. I take
Oh,
it out
thank you.
taking out my calendar. I'm getting sick because you know what? I've just lost my organizational skills like in the last year.
Yes.
It's been
That's what
bad.
happened to me.
But I'm trying to get it
Sure.
together. But go ahead, you're motivated.
Have you posted that clip, by the way? Yeah.
I have not.
It's a good one,
Today,
yeah.
today I'm doing it. Because I wanted to use the picture of when I was bodybuilding as my what we talk about.
Yeah.
And the next one, then yeah. The reason I look at other people, right, and that's what that's one thing I want to kind of put out there is I'm not trying to be anybody's example of anything,
Yeah.
right? I just want to be me, but I want you to also see that it doesn't matter where you come from, what you do. It's about the amount of work that you put in. Because I hate when someone says, so do you look up to any Latinas out there? And I'm like, let me see. I don't.
Do I? I don't know either.
I don't know of any Latinas that I kind of look up to. Like, I'm trying to think of a Latina.
I know of like different people that I'm like, maybe I don't look up to them, but I'm like, I admire them. I'm like, oh, that's fucking
Like, my
cool.
mom is somebody I admire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My mom to me is like, you know, my aunt, my aunts, all three of them, my dad's sisters, you know what I'm saying? My mom's sisters, you know, I look up to them because
even just little small business owners and shit like that on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. I like that she's doing that. That's badass. Or
Yum Yum Candy Girl.
Yes, girl.
Her story is actually pretty great and how she started. And so she's Latina, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know, and I know other people have sent me spicy candies. Nothing against y'all's, guys. I promise y'all's is good. Y'all's is good
that
too.
Yum Yum shit
but
is
that
off
Yum
the
Yum,
chain.
it's really good, and she got creative with it. And you know, other people try to copy her logo, and so they just changed it up a little bit when she confronted it, and I told them like, this is mine. I've trademarked this. Blah blah blah. And they just changed it up a little bit. And if you think about it, that's kind of pretty dope for her because she started very small, and you know, she's in I'm sorry, meat markets now.
Where is she? That's what I'm trying to do is
she's
find
inside
her.
meat markets.
Okay.
So her products are only like now in the
retail?
Yes, in like the meat market. So when you go to like Mexican stores, Michoacanas and stuff like that. And that's an excellent thing. I mean, that's fantastic.
Dude, I've been trying to find her for a minute.
So like she sends me stuff. Like if I'll tell her, hey, I'm out of whatever it is, she'll like hook me up. You know what I'm saying? And but it was I'm
My
impressed.
stepson and his girlfriend always bring me Yum Yum.
Yeah, so
always
she ships me a lot of stuff, and so have other people. So I'm not dogging anybody else. Other people's stuff is great too. You know what I'm saying? But there's another girl who sent me. I think she's in California. Her name is Vanellope.
Vanellope,
like the cartoon. There's a girl on there named Vanellope, and I thought it was so cute. The reason why I thought hers was cute is because it's Valentina and Penelope put together. Yeah. Vanellope. And I was like, oh my God. But there's a vampire cartoon and her name is Vanellope too, I think, or something like that. So I don't know if that's actually her daughter's name or her name. I don't know. But she sent me some candy. Her stuff was great too. Yeah. And she's out of California. I think any female to me that's like hustling,
her, that's badass.
Yeah,
you know
any female to me that I see pushing,
I admire that.
I admire that.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with. To me, honestly, it has nothing to do with if you're Latina, white, black, or anything.
Yeah.
To me, it's about female. If you're a female, for me, doing some badass shit, to me, it's like you're a badass female. You know what
the crazy thing, though, is that I admire more men than I do women.
And I think...
I just do.
Listen,
I don't know why.
That podcast I was telling you about, where he was checking those girls, remember I was talking about when we had Dawn on here?
Fresh.
Okay. What's the guy that I told you was the guest?
I forgot his name.
Samuels? Oh, wait, no.
I forgot his name.
What he said, this is a man-built world. And sadly, it is. We haven't built anything, ladies. What have we built?
A motherfucking human.
Okay, no. I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about buildings, like we haven't built anything. And instead of us like fighting for the silliest rights
There's some badass fucking architects, women who built skyscrapers.
In Chicago, right? Wasn't it a female that...
There's a lot of women.
You're talking about the exception, not the rule, though.
Well, I mean,
yeah, there's very few, but I'm saying...
there's some.
Yeah, there definitely are.
But can you imagine if more women out there...
But bitches who are building shit, they ain't arguing on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Facts. So if there was more of those where it was like...
They just don't get no props, girl. They're like Instagram models.
There's levels to that, right? To get to that person, she didn't have a lot of parasites growing up in her mind.
Yeah,
and a lot of people now need podcasts at least like this because there's levels to the progression. It starts here with the conversation, right? To weed out those mind parasites, and then you know maybe higher education that isn't so biased one way or the other, and then real world experience, and then you go out there and you do that stuff. But if you don't have the ground level of conversation and ideas thrown around, you're fucked.
Yeah. It's true.
I just feel like sometimes we focus so much on like bragging about, you know what I'm saying, like and
making moves.
Yeah.
Hashtag
CEO. You know what I'm saying, like
doing big things. Wait, what's next? Hashtag my tribe.
Yeah, like you know all that stuff. I think if we took that notch just a little bit.
Look, I'm trying to survive, bitch. I ain't got time to be a part of your damn tribe.
Marissa sounds like she's hating.
I'm not hating.
I just think that if as female we saw something like, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. some of the things that I want to make sure that when we have this live podcast on June 16th, is the vendors that we asked to legit sponsor to provide their service, right, for this live event, because I feel like we're going to promote them. That's also going to be my intro to this thing that I've been telling you guys that I want to do, because I want to be able to, I guess, highlight them leading up to the event. We will have this person's stuff here. This person will be providing this and show you. And I also want females that I believe in, if that makes sense, where I feel like, here's a perfect example of who I want to say too. This is really random, but there's a girl that owns Wonderland Soft Play, right? I took Aiden to her event. During the pandemic, it was Penny's birthday, right? I wasn't going to do anything for her because who was I going to invite? Now, the only reason I invited my babysitter's kids is because they all had to get tested during COVID because one of the babies had just been born. And for some reason, they had asked before the baby came home if everybody in the household could get vaccinated. So I knew that everybody there had been vaccinated, obviously except the kids, but the adults had been, vaccinated. They had been tested for COVID. Yeah. So I knew that we were good. It was early on when COVID was happening. But she came in and out of nowhere offered a jumpy. She's like, hey, it doesn't have to be her birthday, but I know that kids right now need this play. Yeah. And I'd love for you to, she didn't say, all I ask is for you to, show, obviously I was going to do it, but she didn't ask. All I ask is that if you could please shout us out on your story. Never once was that a question. Yeah. She legit she thought about her kids and how her kids were during this time. And she wanted to share that to other women who had little toddlers who were probably going crazy inside the house and could use that.
That's dope.
Very dope. So she came and she donated her jumpy thing to Penny for her birthday. And that's why I had zero problem with tagging her, because she never came at me in a business perspective. Yeah. For that, I feel like email me. Don't send me a DM. Email me and send me your business proposal. Yeah. And then let's talk about how I can help you. Then I don't mind it, because now we're working together. Now it's more of a work collab. But you reached out because you said, I have a toddler. I can only, and I guess she had been watching that I'd been doing little at home activities with her. So she probably felt what I was going through, Yep. And I felt that was amazing. That's why, and she's grown so much, you know what I'm saying? And she's just getting better and better. And it's just stuff, and she's super young. I don't even think she's 30 yet. She might be just at 30, maybe. Good for her. Exactly. She's super young. And I just think that, and she's female, she's Latina, her and her husband work together. You know what I'm saying? She gets her daughter, her oldest daughter came, and that's who was helping her set up. Mm-hmm. They were sanitizing the whole thing. I mean, I'm going to give her props. She really has it. There's just some people out there who have it together. The girl who helps with my social media, Ilse. There's just females out there who you can look at and be
they're not necessarily celebrities and got all these followers, but you can respect their hustle. I mean, you see when people are doing their thing.
That to me, I have no problem with even giving them a shout out, just because those are things that I watch. I watch a lot of people. Trust me, I don't sit on social media and go look to see let me see what this bitch is doing.
Yeah, no.
I don't have time for that.
Time for that shit.
And when it's funny when Real Talk King talks about that and says she'll say shit what did she say? Just block people. Why do you sit there and go check on so and so? It's I know. You must not have nothing to do,
man.
Your life must not be busy at all. If you have that much time to sit there.
Meanwhile, Marissa's really behind the closed doors this bitch.
Leaving comments.
Burner account from another account.
Or when someone tells me, they got comments from somebody who created another account to leave a shitty comment. I'm like,
oh, that's so damn
what?
sad.
So you mean you had to create another email?
Yeah.
You had to create another username.
Girl, they showing the fuck did, girl. Yes, they did.
That means you have to remember 2 different passwords now. Now for the email and the account you just created. And not just to go leave one comment?
Dude,
no, man.
You're living in their mind. You're living in their minds rent free.
I can't do it. That was happening during whenever during this whole time. That's when it finally hit me and I said,
People are sick.
Wait a minute.
People are sick.
Literally sick.
Y'all
Sick in the
literally.
head.
And that's when I had to start laughing about it. And that's when, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am somebody who, I don't like to be disliked. I don't know that anybody does, but I really don't like to be disliked. I just don't.
Like, that's a Libra thing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't like to be disliked, but I'm also not your bitch.
Yeah.
And you're not going to mess with me. You're not going to bully me.
I don't know how I feel about being disliked. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm disliked.
Of course, I'm sure I'm disliked, but
yeah.
I really try to think about what about me could you dislike?
I'm just trying to be as honest as I can about everything.
I'm not a shitty person. I'm not somebody who's like ugly towards anybody. Like,
sometimes it's not that. It's just characteristic traits that people can't, they don't mesh with. Like being a hustler to some people is like, this bitch is always trying to do something. Always trying to do too much.
They're just haters.
Yeah,
their mama was a hater. Their mama's mama was the hater. Their mama's mama's was a hater. It's hereditary, bitch.
Yeah, there you go.
It's in your blood, ho. That's why I can't feel bad for you, bitch.
Yep.
I can't feel bad for you, bitch.
But that's when it was during that whole time when, Pete said who we voted for. You know what I'm saying?
Don't bring it up.
I was like, oh my God, but I've worked so hard for my social media. Like, I've invested time in trying to create content and making, giving out positive vibes. And I'm like, and y'all are just going to dog me like that over a vote? So that's the first kind of where I was like, wait a minute. No. The second one was when I'd get these DMs and they were just leaving just hateful comments. And I was just like, at first I'd get so mad and we'd be fighting, right? And I kill them with kindness, so they get more mad. So it was cool, right?
Yeah.
But it was still the fact that I got mad at myself for taking the time and getting mad. And you know what I'm saying? Like I called that one guy. I called that one guy that kept leaving me messages.
I cannot believe she fucking did that shit.
She's like,
yeah, what's up, bitch? Call me.
At
Target. Talking through your mask.
Boo, have y'all ever had problems like walking in a public place and somebody calling him a Trumper?
It happened the day that he took his photo shoot for the new collection he just dropped.
I think you told me that.
Yes. And I said, where was I? And he was like, you were over there. I was buying a prop for the picture. And then I said, what did you say? He's like, well, Ilse was right there. I didn't want to here trying to be professional. She probably would have felt awkward.
She knows what's up.
And so I was just like, I wish this, where is he? Let's go walk by him again. And she's like,
what the fuck you gonna do?
You gonna spit that baby out of him or what?
Man, I will fucking ninja kick him in a hot minute. He ain't ready for these kicks. Trust me.
Girl, he ain't ready for these kicks.
He is not ready for these elbows either.
We need a shirt of Mariswole doing a fucking karate kick in the air.
Pregnant.
Like Karate
and
Kid.
We will motherfucking mass produce that shit.
Bruh.
And be like, you ain't
Man.
ready for these kicks.
Her kick.
Exactly.
That's right.
And I was just like, he starts laughing. He's like, why is it always my wife backing me?
Why my wife's always got to fight for me?
It was hilarious. And I was like, because we ain't got no friends like that who we're like, well, so it was just funny when we were talking.
I'm pregnant right now, but I always stay strapped,
Man,
bitch.
I'm like, that's
I'm
the
ready.
only time. But then I realized it's just like, these are people at home who have nothing to do. You created another account. And that's when I put 2 and 2. I was like, wow, you created not only an email, but you also created another username and 2 different passwords that now you had to remember so that you can leave a comment every time.
I'm still thinking about what his reaction was when he was at that place. What did he say? He didn't say anything. He just said, fuck it, Northside.
He just said, and we were at the Canino Market.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
I was going to tell you to set up and be a vendor there, but maybe not.
They're taking regular vendors there?
Yes, but it's like $1,400 for a little ass space.
Ooh.
Word.
I said, bitch, because I already asked them for the information and everything, and
It's probably because it looks beautiful. Have you been?
it's badass. I mean, they're gonna get a lot of people.
Man, that back, it looks beautiful. They're not finished with the back of it where it's like a park area. And
yeah. I was there to go check out the space, see what it looks like now.
it's beautiful. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's very pretty. It's not the same market.
I just remember a lot of people being up in arms about it because they were upgrading it.
Because, and now to be a vendor there, I mean, those people in the back, I mean, I don't know what they're spending now, but for us, we got quoted $1,400 for a
hopefully they got grandfathered
space.
in.
I think Ilse was telling me that some things were grandfathered in, but not everything.
Yeah.
But the lady that I buy my hibiscus from, the leaves, she's in the very back, and she's almost, it looks like hers would be maybe 3. Mm-hmm. It's so big.
Damn.
I get my palo azul from a lady back there.
So that might be the same. She's huge. She's got a huge area. So I was curious. I just said like how she felt about it. She goes, what we don't like is the strictness, right? Like, because it is fresh fruit and, you know, all these things. So I get it. They have to implement some kind of regulation. You know, I get that. Mm-hmm. But she just said, our clientele is different. And she said, I've been able to make more of a profit now.
But like, what are you trying to say? You know, what are you trying to say?
Different people are coming in. She can tell who has money. And since their prices are kind of like, you know, whatever. Yeah. So she said, my rent went up. She said her rent went up $200 to almost $300. So I don't know what, she didn't say how much she said. She just said her rent went up about $300. But she said she makes that with just the first couple of sales. She's like, nice. Because I'm able to now make a bigger profit because people who don't know about these things think they're so cool. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're moving into a gentrified.
They charge you $20 a pound for the motherfucking palo azul, but that's good because granel across the street is $60 a pound. It's considered medicine now.
Oh, word!
So it's hardcore. But yeah, man. I mean, I can see how she'd make that money, but someone like me who's charging $650 for a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's but it's really pretty. It's really nice. I hope that they still keep some type of authenticity to what that really was, because I used to love going there just to look at how pretty all the fruit and the tamarindos and all that stuff looked laid out. That's really all I like to go see. I know. Like, I love to go see all the jarritos wake up on hanging. Saturdays
with no kids. Girl, I didn't have any kids yet, just to go there.
I just think it's so pretty. I went as a kid because we would go there to get certain kind of spices, and that'd be it. But I didn't go anymore as an adult because I didn't have to go with my parent. You know, you don't have to go anymore. But I went when Pete was doing a chips and salsa video, and I needed some, like, I needed serape and I needed all these things, and I was like, oh my God, I hadn't been here in years, and it was just like, I just walked around. I already had bought what I needed. I just like started taking pictures. Fun. It was like, it was so pretty, and I'm like, this is the beauty of our culture. Like, our culture is so beautiful. Badass. Yeah. You know, when I go to Mexico and I go to markets, I'm the same way. You know what I'm saying? You go down, I just love watching everyone's hustle as you're going down these markets. Everybody's selling, and motherfuckers are selling the same shit. This one and this one is, but who's going to give you the better deal? You know?
That's why it's like, don't hate on each other's businesses, bitch. There's enough business for everybody.
It's about how you hustle that business.
You know what that mentality is people that think like there's not enough of the pie to go around, when meanwhile what you need to do is create your pie. Or just create your own oven and make your own pies.
Yep.
I like that. Create your own oven with your own motherfucking pie.
Thank you. That's how it should be.
And that's the way it needs to be.
Yep. On that note, Marissa's got to get going. We'll eat it there. Y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening again. We will be at the Soho Market May 30th. And then today we are in Corpus. So you guys come and get some laughs. We need it. We all need a laugh with everything going on. I think this would be great if you haven't been out. I don't know the mask requirement situation.
No, we're free as of tomorrow.
We're free, baby.
At tonight. So tonight is the 21st. Governor Abbott's executive order supersedes all local...
But all Texas?
All Texas.
All of Texas, honey.
So that means it overrides whatever the business says?
Yep. Businesses, schools, local municipalities, all of it.
Girl, I've already been into 2 places and I walked in like I was like, bitch, tell me something, bitch. All pregnant. They're probably thinking that I'm crazy, that I should have a mask
dude,
on.
I'm going to go back to Xfinity where I don't even have any more and be like, hey, call that cop
remember
over
me,
here.
Bitch?
Yeah.
Oh my God, people, we're going to be normal again.
Feels good.
We're going to be normal again.
Just ready for hot girl summer, girl.
Hey, I'm ready for that patriotic boy summer. You know what I'm saying?
Get it ready. Get the beer
And
ready.
listen,
Are y'all coming to my gender reveal?
Yeah.
Don't worry, y'all are going to be safe there. Nobody's going to be like, you fucking Trumper.
I'm not worried about it. I don't ever worry about it. I'm always like,
I don't either.
whatever, bro. I don't have time to argue with you.
Yeah.
I've got shit to do. Sorry.
It is too funny.
But what was I going to say? Well, that's kind of good, though. Let me tell you why. Because one of the things, and we're going to end it here. One of the things I was afraid of was, you know how they were wanting, if you didn't have the vaccine, they wanted you to wear a mask. And if, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt like that was going to cause controversy anywhere.
People.
Exactly. To where it was going to be like, oh, that's the person that doesn't get vaccines. You know, they don't care about, because that's not saying everybody, but a lot of people feel like you're selfish for not wanting to do these things. Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of felt like, well, that kind of is not fair because that's going to isolate other people. It can cause friction in a grocery store, anywhere you go to where. So now it's like vaccinated or not, there is no mask. So now you don't know if you're vaccinated. And here's another thing. All the arguments on ABC 13 News when they posted it.
Girl.
I said, did you send it to her?
I didn't know they're arguing it on our local channel.
Did you see the thread?
The thread?
On our local?
I'm going to send it to you.
It's a post
Yeah.
Okay.
on their thing. Not on
I
the
thought you
news.
meant like the news people. Because I'm like,
no.
man, hold on. I still have a little bit of faith in our local.
No.
Not to do that. But
they
you're
posted
just talking about the
something-
comments.
The
Yeah.
comments.
Girl, I already saw that shit on Facebook.
And I was just like,
not theirs, but I've seen people arguing on Facebook.
and I was just
already.
like, guys, he didn't say you didn't have. If you feel more safe wearing your mask, wear it.
Yes, wear it.
He doesn't. He
bitch.
didn't say don't wear it at all. He just said you don't have to wear it now.
Yeah, and if you're a robber, bitch, keep the mask on, please. Just don't be doing that anymore.
And places that do try to enforce something like
Can
that
get a fine, right?
$1,000
Yeah.
fine for every time
Yeah.
they try to enforce it.
I'm glad. I'm so glad that's over with. I just can't.
Rome's ready to come home from Cali, boo.
I bet.
Oh, I bet.
He can't take it anymore. It's too much. He's getting even taxed on the delivery fee. Like, you're getting a tax for the order, and then you're also getting a tax on the delivery fee for the fucking order. He can't take it anymore. He's like, I just spent $60 on a motherfucking pizza. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe.
Oh my God.
Anyway, all right. Yup.
Uber Eats or whatever.
On his delivery Uber, I guess. I don't know. He's done, boo. He can't do it anymore. He's ready to come back home to Texas.
That's tough, man. I can't be out there.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah.
Fuck all y'all
I'm
bitches.
glad I'm from Texas. 100%. I don't care what any. I've always been Texas proud. Always.
Always. Hey, and we'll leave it with this because I know Marissa's got to go. When I looked up the picture for the clip that Marisol's going to post later, I typed in Marisol Herrera NPC or something like stage picture something, right? So I found the pic, actually, the one that I use in there, and then
You Googled her?
Oh yeah. Come on now.
Google me, bitch.
Yeah, that's all Marisol's got to say is Google me, bitch. But it led me to a rabbit hole of other images, and a lot of them were from like older, like or maybe 2010, 11, 12, and
Yeah.
Marisol had all kinds like boots and like the Daisy Dukes and the Texas signs and pictures and like about it. So when she says it, she's definitely means it.
I've always
Love
been
it.
about it.
I
I
love
ain't
it.
faking. I ain't faking the funk. I love Texas, and Texas is the best of the 50 nifty United States from 13 original. All right, guys.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.